Algebra 1/2, Algebra 1/2. We are on lesson 57. Lesson 57. Make sure you're taking notes at home. Guys, just a quick reminder, of means multiply. Is means equals. And the word what means X or a variable. I need to sharpen pencils, so bear with me. I lost my sharpener. It's very frustrating. So I just keep going through pencils. I should just switch to a mechanical pencil, but I really like wooden pencils. Okay, so why is this important? Today we're gonna be talking about mixed number problems. For example number 1, now I'm gonna go ahead and write the whole problem down so that you can see it. However, on your homework, you don't have to do that. 2 and 1, I'll spell it all the way out, 1/2 of what number is 7 1/3. All right, so you don't have to write out this whole thing when we're doing it, but I just wanted you to see that we're going to be converting between English and math. 2 and 1/2 of what number is 7 1/3. Okay, so I've broken everything up here. Let's convert it from English to math. 2 and 1/2. 2 and 1/2 of means multiply, so I'm going to use a big dot there. What number means X is 7 1/3. So that multiplication, I'm just going to rewrite this just like in the last lesson, right? This will work. 1/3. We have 2.5 times X equals 7 1/3. First things first, we got to get those into improper fractions. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 halves X equals 3 times 7 is 21 plus 1 more is 22 over 3. All right, so 5 halves and X, I need to get X by itself, and I'm multiplying, and the opposite of multiply is divide, but we never divide fractions. We instead multiply by the reciprocal, because when we do that, this cancels out with this cancels out with this. But what we do to one side, we must do to the other. So we end up with X equals, it doesn't look like I can cross cancel anything there. Nothing 3 or 5 in those and no 2's in the bottom. So what I end up with is 44 on top because 22 times 2. And then on the bottom I have 3 times 5, which gives me 15. So that would be our answer. You can leave it as an improper fraction or you can turn it into a mixed number, which is going to give me 15. So let's do some side work here. 44 goes into 15. 15 times 2 is 30, right? So 2 times, and then we get 30, which leaves me with a remainder because we subtract. We get 14 over 15. So, or 2 and 14 over 15. Example number 2. All right. So 2 and 1/5 of 8 and 1/8 is what number? Okay, once again, what we're going to do is 2 and 1/5 of 8 and 1/8 is what number? So 2 and 1/5 of means multiply. 8 and 1/8 is what number? Is X. Now guys, X is already by itself, so we don't have to do any multiplying by the reciprocal. You just leave it the way it is. However, we do have to convert these into improper fractions. This times this is 10 plus 1 is 11, so 11 over 5 times 8 times 8 is 64 plus 1 more is 65 over 8 equals X. All right, let's see if we can't do some cross canceling here. 65 divided by 5 gives me 13. I think I knew that, and I don't know. So divide this by 5, I get 1. Divide this by 5, I get 13. 11 times 13 and 8, not much I can do there. 11 times 13 is going to give me 143 over 1 times 8 gives me 8 equals X. Let's do some side work to figure out what that is as a mixed number. 8 goes into 143. Well, it goes into here 1 time, into 14 1 time, minus 8. That gives me 4, 5, 6. I had to think about that. 6, and then I bring down. 8 goes into 63 7 times. 7 times 8 is 56. That gives me 7. So it's 17 and 7/8. 7 is my remainder. So it's either this or 17 and 7/8 equals x. Either one of those guys. All right, guys, the practice problems are on page 184. I want you to go ahead and do those. Make sure that you're at the top of your homework. If you need them, there's the practice problems. Go ahead and do them, pause, come on back, and let's see if you get those. A, 3 1/2 of 6 1/4 is what number? 3 1/2 of 6 1/4 is what number? Okay, so this times this is 6 plus 1 more is 7, 7/2 times 24 plus 1 is 25 over 4 equals x. X is already by itself, so we're not going to be doing any multiplying by the reciprocal. We can cross cancel. No, we can't cross cancel anything. So we're going to do 7 times 25. If you have 7 quarters, you would have $1.75, right? Over 8 equals x. Let's do some side work here. We're going to do 175, 8. 8 and 8 is 16, so we get 2. That gives me 16 minus 1 and 15. 8 goes into 15 one time. 1 times 8 is 8. That's going to give me minus, and we get 7. So we get 21 and 7/8. 21 and 7/8 equals x. So those are your answers there. Let's do B. So for B, we have 3 1/4 of what number is 6 1/8. Making sure I didn't mess that up. 3 1/4 of what number is 6 1/8. Okay, good. Now let's do our very first thing. Let's turn them all into improper fractions. This times this is 12 plus 1 more is 13 over 4 times x equals 6 times 8 is 48 plus 1 more is 49. 49 over 8. Now, the x is not by itself, so this is a case where we are going to multiply by the reciprocal. So we're going to multiply this chunk here by 4 over 13 and multiply this by 4 over 13. This cancels out with that, and we get x all by itself, which is exactly what we want. Now over here, we can cross cancel. If we divide this by 4, I get 1. Divide this by 4, I get 2. 49 times 1 is 49. 13 times 2 is going to be 26. 26. Let's see if we can turn that into a mixed number. So a little bit of side work here. We're going to do 49 is on top of the table here, so it's going to go under the table here. 26. 26 goes into 49. That's 52, right? Yeah, 52. So only one time. 1 times 26. So 49 minus 26. I don't want to make a silly mistake or it's going to cost me in candy. So 23. So we get our 1 and 23 over 26, which we cannot reduce. Yeah, we can't reduce it because 23 is prime. Excellent, guys. Last one for C. What fraction, so x, of 3 2/5 is 9 7/8? All right, so this just means the x is on the other side. So if we rewrite this, let's turn it into an improper fraction. 15, that's 15 plus 2 more. 17 over 5, and I'm going to move the x from the front to the back, equals, this times this is 72, plus 7 would give me 79. Yeah, making sure I got that right. Making sure I do my multiplication right. Ugh. All right, so 17/5 x equals all that garbage. We are multiplying here, and the opposite of multiply is divide, but we don't divide by fractions. We multiply by the reciprocal. So we're going to flip that around, 5/17. What we do to one side, we got to do over here. This cancels out with this, and we get x equals, let's see if we can do any cross canceling. I know I can't divide anything by 5, and 79 doesn't go into 17, and 17 is prime, so I can't break that down. This is odd, so I can't even, so it looks like I can't break anything down here. So we're just going to do 79 times 5, which gives me 395. Over 17 times 8, which gives me 136. So 395. Okay, so that's going to go in, or if we do this, it's going to be 2 and 136. So 2 times 136 is 272. So we got to do 395 minus 272, which gives me 379, 2, 1, 123 over 136. Let's see, maybe we can divide some of this by 3. 6 plus 3 is 9, plus 1 more, 679, yeah, plus 1 more is 10. 3 does not go into 10, so 3 is not going to go into that number. This is even, but this one's not, so that's not going to work. 5 isn't going to work because they don't end in a 5 or a 0. So the only other one we want to check is 7. 123 divided by 7 does not work, so it's probably not reducible. So this will be your answer, guys. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you in class.